Hello everyone. In today's video, we're going to talk about the lady that saved Nigeria from contracting Ebola. Remember the Ebola pandemic that happened a little over 10 years, or close to 15 years ago now. It happened around 2011, 2012. So how did Nigeria got spared from Ebola? One, for those of you that know, there was an Ebola outbreak in Central and Western African country. Sierra Leone, Liberia were heavily affected, and there was some cases in Senegal. So how did the first case of Ebola came to Nigeria and how it was stopped? So there is a man called Sawyer. Patrick Sawyer, I think, if I remember his name perfectly. So he came to Nigeria to he came to speak one of the conferences. So when he came, landed at the airport, the man fell sick. Mr. Sawyer fell sick. So when he fell sick, Nigerian doctor and nurses at that time, the lead doctor, the lead medical expert at that time, her name is Stella Adadevoh. So what she did is that she looked at the man and noticed that this kind of feverish that this man was having is something different. They said, okay, they're gonna take him to a hospital in Lagos. And she quickly ran tests on him. He isolated him. He quickly ran tests, then sent the test to labs in Lagos and sent another one to Senegal, Dakar, Senegal, for that for the test to run to see if it's Ebola. While that was happening, the man started to get aggressive. Like, why are you guys holding me? I'm a Liberian diplomat. You guys let me go so I can go make my keynote speak. He was being aggressive. And Dr. Adadevoh and other nurses were holding him, actually barricaded him in a wall. So they make sure that he doesn't escape, leave the hospital and go inside the city. Maybe get on transportation or on a plane to move. They barricaded him. So when the man becomes sick to the extreme and become unresponsive, the day the man passed away, when his test result came back and he got and the test was positive, he got Ebola. The test from Senegal come back the same thing, Ebola. And then they found out, when the results was coming, they found out that his own sister died in Liberia from Ebola related disease. So now this man is dead in a hospital full of blood. They said, okay, everybody that got in contact with this man should be quarantined. That's including the head nurse, the head physician, the people that actually hold him down so he can't go into the city. Because the reason why it would have caused a very pandemic situation in Nigeria, because people don't know how population of Nigeria is. Nigeria is about 220 million plus people, and at that time it was around 200 million. So now they hold him down. He's unresponsible in his hotel. There's blood everywhere because he removed the IV they put on him. Blood everywhere because he was upset that they couldn't let him go to make a speech, that he was a keynote speaker in Calabar, which is in southeastern part of Nigeria. They couldn't, but he don't know that there's something wrong with him, that if they let him go, he will spread it all over Nigeria. Mind you, he's not in Nigeria, he's from Liberia. So now, everybody that was exposed to him, trying to quarantine him, trying to hold him down so he's not going to go crazy, were isolated, put in different places, right? So now, everybody that, after he died, everybody that got in contact, those people that sacrificed their life to make sure that he didn't go out, leave the hospital and get on a public transportation or get on a regional flight to fly to Calabar or whatever, everybody contacted the Ebola. Unfortunately, the actual doctor that saved Nigeria and saved entire Africa from the Ebola outbreak in Nigeria also died, because she's the one that actually found out that the guy has an Ebola and then wanted to confirm it on record by running a test. He was exposed because she was exposed. Dr. Adadevoh was exposed to it. what you got to understand is that to catch Ebola was so easy. It's not even through sexually transmitted. It's not even through saliva. Like somebody that has Ebola, if their sweat touches your own sweat, you will get it. That's how contagious Ebola was then. So, Dr. Sawyer, because of how aggressive he was, if he would have cooperated, even been throwing tantrum, fighting all the nurses and doctors, if he didn't do that, this lady would have probably be alive. But he did a lot, splashing blood everywhere, causing problem. Like, in Nigeria, there's a way we think sometimes. Like, he behaved like he was sent to come in and destroy Nigeria. Like, he behaved like, yes, this is like he was on a suicide mission to come and destroy Nigeria. But Stella Adadevoh, the doctor that actually went above and beyond to make sure that the guy didn't leave the hospital, held him down. But in the return, she died, and all the nurses, a few nurses that were around, also perished. So till today, when they talk about Nigerian heroes, she's always there. And also, they made a movie about her. I don't know if the movie is still on Netflix, because it was on Netflix for a while. But you can. There's always gonna be a platform that carries it. It was on Netflix. It was on Amazon Prime. The movie is called 93 Days. A very intelligent movie that tells the story in full details. One of those movies that actually didn't try to bend to Hollywood movie inclusiveness. They did the movie as the story, is. So Stella Adadevoh saved Nigeria and Africa, because you gotta understand, Nigerians travel within Africa a lot and outside, So he will go through the airport, even though it's a regional airport. He will go through buses. He will go through transportation. He will shake hands, and Nigeria being as populated as it is, it will spread like Wi-Fi. Liberia have like 10. They said Liberia have like 10,000 deaths on paper. Sierra Leone have thousands of deaths, but people on the ground, I remember people on the ground, Nigeria is far from those countries, even though we were in the same West Africa region. For those of you that don't understand Africa, Africa is big. So the story on the ground is that people that died from Ebola in these countries that I just mentioned, Liberia, Sierra Leone, and a little bit in Senegal, is twice the amount that was reported, because there are people that live in the rural areas that catch the Ebola and they handle it themselves. They bury the person without even reporting it to you. So that's how it is. But thank God, with the help, actually another person that I know I've been a critic of him, the building Bill Gates built in Nigeria he built it for some kind of health emergency. That was the building they used to quarantine this guy that it made it impossible for him to leave and then spread the Ebola inside Nigeria. So shout out to Bill Gates, something that I have to do, even though some moves that he makes sometimes are questionable, but in this case, the building that he donated money to build was the building that saved lives, saved tens of thousands of lives. If this man wouldn't have, because you can't take him to the hospital. They have to put him in quarantine him in a building that is meant for something like that. So that's the story. And I know that I always miss a couple of things. And if you want to know more about the history of Ebola in Nigeria, in West African region in 2011, 2012, you can do your own research and you'll hear the story on how Nigeria stopped Ebola from entering into Nigeria. You will see more of that. So that's the video. This story, everybody in Nigeria knows it. Everybody in Nigeria knows it. At least majority of us knows it. So for the wider world and for you guys, if you haven't heard about it, this is why I'm telling you guys, because this channel, I always tell you guys, it's information driven. I tell stories and I share my opinions on specific subjects every now and then. So yeah, this is another story and this is another information. If you guys don't know, now you know. And if you have watched up to this point, share your thoughts. If you have any question you want to ask it as well. Even when pandemic hit also, I want to add something real quick. and pandemic hit as well during COVID, Nigeria was so prepared that we didn't have no how many casualties for a country of 250 million. We only have like 10 COVID-19 cases in Nigeria. Like less than 10 people died from COVID-19 in Nigeria for 220 million people. So because we learned a lesson from Ebola, and then when it comes to COVID, it was all out war. So no deaths, nothing. Even lockdown wasn't even effective. People were doing, it's not like you have the same lockdown, all over Europe and America. Nigeria was all fun and game because I was in the country then. So yeah, so that's one thing I want to add as well. All right, thank you for watching. Subscribe to my channel, and then see you guys on the next one. Bye. May the soul of Stella Adadevoh, the lady that saved Nigeria from having Ebola inside Nigeria, may her soul continue to rest in peace.